We're officially rebranding the event. It's now GA Eindhoven because we're after 12 p.m. So good afternoon, everybody. How are we? Very good.
Well, no. How can we get you to spectacular?
I know.
Right?
How can we get you to spectacular? If you're only good, that's not good enough. We need to get you to spectacular. We're going to attempt to do that over the next few minutes. We're going to talk about ditching darketing, reimagining growth. But we're going to tell you a little personal story first that led us to this path.
Yeah. And I'm Ksenia Stark.
I am Stewart Rogers, and together we are in X Factor style.
Yes, Confusion
and Joy.
and Joy. And today we are going to talk about how we can rip it up and start again and explore darketing and reimagine our growth. And indeed, we are going to start with our personal story because it's our dear story as how we connected based on values. And, you know, we chose to do things differently, and now we want to tell you how you can do things differently. And community connected us. We met 1 year ago, only 1 year ago, in Tallinn.
Yes.
On NFT Tallinn, currently BananaConf. And this is beautiful community in Tallinn as well, where we actually reconnected at BTC Pizza Day.
Yeah, BTC Pizza Day. Who's heard of BTC Pizza Day? Absolutely. It was when somebody spent 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza, but that was back when it was not worth, you know what, $70,000 a piece. We reconnected then again because we both care about diversity, equity, inclusion, supporting, marginalized communities, people that need help. So we reconnected in the metaverse, working on bringing LGBTQ and pride to the metaverse, and that's where we became friends and connected on values.
Yep, and then we went to Finland, and that's where we met even more amazing people, fell in love, and you know, this is a story when connecting based on value led to love, but sometimes it leads to very long-lasting friendships and long-lasting relationships. And let's go back a little bit in time and remember how internet was created and why it was created. It actually was meant to bring us together as a global society to connect and share knowledge and expertise.
But what we've done is, instead of just using it to improve humanity, we've turned it into the world's fastest supermarket. Anyone who recognizes Aldi in Germany, Kassafraus, throwing tins of beans at your chest so hard they break your ribs, that's what we've turned the internet into. And we are doing transactions as fast as possible, as cheap as possible, as often as possible. We're basically turned everything into download our app, get the link in bio, click here to register. And we're trying every single trick in the book to get you to buy and buy and buy more and more.
Yeah, it's like this call to actions that brands, you know, and actually marketeers, they love to use the colors, you know, the wording and the call to action rules exist. And that's what we call darketing. That's the term that we came up with, and this is all about the manipulative strategies that are pushing you to buy, subscribe, download, and they're aimed at overselling the products. And my experience is coming from digital industries, so I've been working in telecom, gambling, adult. So I've been seeing, you know, a lot of developments and actually getting into the history of programmatic advertising. So we learned over the years with, you know, neuroscience and neuromarketing, as they call it, what colors to put, what, you know, words to use that you are actually going to through the funnel. And I hate that word as well, actually.
Yeah. And, you know, we are actually complicit in this. We've allowed large corporations, you know, the internet is now completely centralized almost. It's run by 6 major corporations, and we're giving them all our data for free. You know, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's almost 6 billion smartphones in use right now. 5 billion, over 5 billion internet users, almost 5 billion social media users, and they're getting everything from us. You know, when you click that, I'd like to share my location in-app. What you're really giving them is location, down to within a meter. You're giving them all of your data in terms of whether you're sitting, standing, walking, how fast you're walking, whether you're on a bicycle, in a car, et cetera, and they're using that to target you, and you've been complicit in this. You've allowed them all of that data for free so they can make billions off of you.
And the darketing era also enabled us to chase the shiny objects. And in general, humans like chasing shiny objects rather than grounding and kind of understanding and analyzing, you know, the use cases or anything else. And the best example of it is our favorite Silicon Valley model that actually has 99% of a fail rate in the year 1, and only 30% of the startups of this 1% get to year 3. And we keep being inspired by this model, and we keep repeating the strategies and thinking that, we are the next Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
Or,
exactly. And we've got this down to a fine art. You got the example here on this awesome video, like iPhone 11, iPhone 12, iPhone 13. We will make you queue round the block of a very nice glass building because we understand how to trigger your dopamine. Like, hit me dopamine one more time. Like, literally, hit your dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. There are companies that have entire departments to understand how to hit your dopamine levels extra time, so you keep coming back for more and more to get that larger TV, to get that next laptop. And we just keep on doing it, because they know how to trigger our brains. They know how to get us to buy the next thing constantly, all the time.
And at this moment, we are at this tipping point when, we talk about Web3 and shifting from Web2 to Web3. But let's be honest here, we are not changing anything. Yep. And even if we are believing in a more transparent, connected web and new economy, at this moment, we are seeing something different.
Yeah, if Tim Cook stands up and tells you that Web3 is all about AR, what he's really telling you in the parenthesis is because he's got glasses to sell. That's why he's making it all about AR. I've written stories about him talking only about AR. If Zuckerberg is talking about the metaverse, or as we heard yesterday, VR and AR, it's because they want to make ads more immersive, and they also want to get your eye tracking data and your movement data so they can target you more effectively. Let's remember, these companies, Meta, great company, but 99% of their revenue comes from ads. So this is why they're doing this.
And the honest state of Web3 and Confusion&JOY, us together, we did the analysis on the Bitcoin ownership. And actually, around 60% of Bitcoins belong to that tiny group of people, which is basically capitalism on blockchain. Yeah. So if we talk about, the real state of our economy, and we love global citizens, our amazing, amazing friends, who also report, different figures. And, we know that the richest people, they own 1% and almost half of the world wealth.
Yep.
So
exactly. We've taken this wonderful blockchain and this ideal of decentralization and just done capitalism again, but faster. And then we talk to, you look at all the different blockchain startups and Web3 startups in this space. And because they're all brilliant technical people, they don't know how to actually tell their solutions to customers, the people that want to buy them. You end up with things like a crypto wallet for everything on chain and unlock the new internet. It's a wallet. Real-time, granular, actionable insights using AI-based big data and machine learning platform. Yep. What the fuck does that do? Does anyone know?
Does anyone know what it's supposed to do?
It doesn't talk to the people that actually might want to use it. We have to get out of this tech bubble where we're talking tech language all the time. And I often speak about mental health in the tech industry and did research on that. And self-prescription is an addition to your mental health stress. If you're a brilliant technical person, please make yourself the CTO, not the CEO because of ego. Because CEOs have different brains, need different skills. If you do a CTO role, you'll be amazing at it. Make yourself a CEO, you might end up actually causing yourself huge stress and mental health issues. Get people to talk language of the people that should be using your product.
And that's exactly an example. If you go to any Web3 project, really few of them have any language that actually other humans understand. And that's where we end up, with a low adoption level, and again, everything is driven by tech. While growth is not about tech. And building your company demands an ethos that changes the way we do business. And that's what we believe, that Web3 is the ethos of collaboration, cooperation, co-creation, communicating directly without middlemen with each other. And it's about community.
We call that the sea of change, instead of the sea that we've all been obsessed with, which is competition. Competition presupposes that you need to make everyone else lose so that you win. Do we all really want to live in a society where we're all trying to make each other lose every damn day? Let's try and lift each other up and make everybody win. Collaboration really is about this wave of change. It's about communities shaping ecosystems. Don't think of your competitors as competitors. Why not be the people that understand your space better than everybody else? Create an association and bring all your competitors and scientists or analysts and key users, raving fans, bring them all together and create an ecosystem. Crowd filtering is another term that we coined. If you build a community and other people join the community and they don't behave in the right way or they're not quite right, you don't have to do anything about it. Your community that understands how to behave will filter them out or correct their behavior for you. Look at Reddit. They do exactly that. People moderate their own subreddits. Organic growth is greater than taking other people's money for an idea that may probably never actually come to fruition.
Or advertising.
Yeah, or advertising. Raving fans, you get those with your community. These are people that advocate for you. They'll run up to the rooftops and they'll scream your name wildly to everybody else. And you create them with two-way conversation directly with these people and giving them value. You don't have to bribe them. You don't have to do that. Hey, you may win $200 if you invite 5 people to Revolut this week. You don't have to do that. They will just do it for you. And don't forget the most important thing. We'll talk about this later, but create impact all the way down the chain. We'll tell you why that's important soon.
And here we come to this, competition versus collaboration mindset. And to visualize it, of course, we like the pie, right? So right now, everyone is just trying to fight for like a bigger piece of a small pie. It's even like a cupcake or something. But when you enable collaboration mindset, you actually make the pie bigger, and you get a fair share of that bigger pie.
And for the mathematicians in the room, that was a pie joke. It's a very big number.
I guess we don't have any mathematicians.
I know, it's terrible. So, here's an example. And sorry for the British wordplay, but leading by example instead of leading by example. Citizen Grown. What they did was remarkable. They have this hydroponic unit. They ask you for 1 meter square of your accommodation. They give you $1,000 a month to use that 1 meter square. And what they do is they grow marijuana in there, fully controlled via the internet, and they control everything, and then they come and harvest it. They get huge amounts of real estate instead of having to buy a massive piece of land to grow weed. They support underprivileged communities by giving them $1,000 a month. Like imagine someone in Harlem getting $1,000 a month. That pays for their entire rent and the food on their table. For giving up that space. They then created an association and brought all of the cannabis interested people together so that they can continue to lobby for making it more legal in more states. And when they finish in the US, they'll go around the world. And that's me having a chat with one of the people that is involved in this. It was Reg Snodgrass who put it together. But you might recognize that man as being one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and he believes in this so much because basically he came from one of those places where you're massively underprivileged community, $1,000 a month. He knows this is huge for them, so he also loves weed. So combining the two, great, instant investment.
Here you go.
And the way we think about customers, we're always looking for the glory hole. We think of this wall, and we go, okay, well, let's go for this vertical. We're going to push against this part of the wall. And hopefully, we'll break through that part of the wall. If we do, there's a bunch of customers who look exactly like this lined up on that other side of the wall. Personas, profiling, et cetera, et cetera. We don't think of it that way. If you get a community and ecosystem, people will talk about you and they'll push on the other side of the wall. And then...
Yeah, the wall breaks down. And that's the beauty of community. And that's what we also call the real circular economy. When it's not just about you and your inner circle and what's happening in the walls of your company and your product or service. It is about creating value for yourself and for others and for the whole community, or if you want to call it ecosystem, your stakeholders. So considering all of them and understanding what you're tapping in with your product or services. That enables co-creation and revenue share. So you can actually earn money out of your bubble, help others, that will also elevate everything and advocate for you.
And we also believe in making conscious choices. There's two sides of the conscious choice coin. We love the 15 commitments of conscious leadership, things like radical responsibility, standing behind the words that you say, you're standing behind your actions, being responsible for yourself, not pointing fingers at others. Also, radical honesty. If other people are not behaving right, asking them about that. Finding out about that. Don't just believe what people tell you about that person. Go find out, ask them. And then if they're behaving incorrectly, be radically honest with them and say, maybe this would be a better way to go. Yeah. And then there's another side to that coin.
also staying curious, actually.
Yeah, stay curious always.
Curiosity is one of the commitments which, you know, like actually gets back to the childhood and, you know, when we are super curious about everything.
Yes.
And the conscious consumerism is something that we also talk about because it is about being knowledgeable of a brand or, you know, of even people behind the brand, the values, the actions when you're purchasing products and services. Because we as a society, as a humanity, we actually already have a power with our wallets to support and not support certain behavior or, you know, like when we think of, best example, of course, is a Pride Month, right? When it's June and everyone colors their logos in the rainbow, you know, like we're all supporting the people. But what they say is that they're commercializing on these people as well. And you can go and you can always check if this company has a good track record of being diverse and inclusive.
And impact. We talked about impact earlier. We're going to go a little bit deeper on this. Impact is the most important thing, and authentic impact. You have to think impact first. You need to connect on a human level with everybody else. You know, it's human to human. It's not client-supplier relationships. It's not targeting someone and manipulating money out of them. Be human with everybody. You know, think of this ecosystem as one impact mission. You know, when we make an impact, like that drop of water that falls into that sheet of glass water, it creates an impact. It creates waves. It creates results. Monetize in the early stages and do that organically. Like, you don't even have to build your product with tech. Certainly don't say, I'm going to use blockchain to save the world in the next 5 years. Try figuring out, first of all, some different questions, different answers to solutions, rather than being derivative and being the 700th version of something that already exists. And then try building it without tech and seeing if people want it. Ask people if they want it. Find out what they'll pay for it and see if you can make it for less than that and make a profit from day one. But, you know, monetize on the early stages and do it using market research. Don't even open your company if there isn't people out there who want your stuff and will pay more than you can, you know, make it for. Don't even open the company. And establish transparent and fair business models. Transparency is key. Like we all feel it in our gut when we go to a website and there is no pricing on that website and they're hiding it and it's like, contact us for a quote. No. Like transparency. And transparency across your ecosystem, what you will pay for recommendations, referrals, you know, how you will work with people. Be completely transparent. Have manifesto on your site that tells everybody about the way you work. And be true to that.
And we come up with these 3 pillars of authentic impact, which is about creators and co-creation, so bringing more creativity into your brand strategy, community, and, you know, creating a meaningful connection with your community based on impact, and having a conduct, you know, your real manifesto, the way you work, and being conscientiousness.
And if you take your conduct, your values, your principles, creativity, such as working with artists, DJs, musicians, coders, metaverse architects, AR designers, and true connection, real human connection, and you put that all together, you create magical experiences, activations, campaigns, meaningful media, things that we're not getting right now. We're just talking at people and hoping that some of them will buy. This creates magic. This creates people connecting on values. And this is where things really, really happen.
And as we talk about it, we also eat our own dog food.
Yeah.
Actually, that's our friends and family, because we don't call our, you know, clients partners. We call them all friends and family, because we also have one rule, which is, I'm going to share with you as well. Don't work with people you don't want to hug. No. Because actually on your human level, sometimes your body is telling you, that's a no-go. You shouldn't take this money, you shouldn't take this job, you shouldn't sign this contract.
Exactly.
So since last year, August, we, you know, formed that friends, and these are just some of them.
Yeah.
And we've been doing, you know, experiences and also consulting, you know, startups in major, you know, ecosystems, and also events such as Art Basel Miami or World Economic Forum or Mobile World Congress and Web Summit, etc., etc. So, and we've been doing it with the approach of organic growth, community, people judging us by our actions at the spot where we are, and then deciding whether we want to work with them. We didn't do any much podcasts or advertising. We don't have much social media. We have just a simple landing page And we are showing with our actions that we can do things differently. And it's our choice to think, become more conscious, and understand how you can drive your business with impact.
Yes, so that is our approach. It's working. We're advising 6 companies right now. We've done all of those events. We're doing even more in the future, and some pretty outstanding ones, because we believe that the hand of confusion and joy changes everything. So we thank you for allowing us to touch you, not in a creepy way. And that is how we ditch darketing and move forward into a brand new world where we get to rip it up and start again instead of doing the same shit, different day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for this thought-provoking keynote. Really enjoyed. There were so many things that was like, touching my brain all the time, from Bitcoin to, I'm also scared of all the cachets, right? Putting all the products, throwing them at you.
Yes, we know that.
Yeah. Now, lately I was speaking with a lady I'm coaching on dark patterns. So she's working a lot on dark patterns. And she told me there was a recent research done by Forbes that shows that 40% of consumers already saw a unexpected but unpleasant financial consequence because of these dark patterns that they see. Big websites like Booking.com, etc. And she told me now, finally, European Commission is taking charge. They finally talk to Booking.com and these big giants like, okay, dark patterns, they're not okay anymore.
I mean, has anyone seen those adverts for Temu? With all of those amazing products? Temu is a...
I was just going to say, and now we have Temu.
Yeah. So
Here we go.
Temu would do social advertising and say, you get a free drone. And then you go to the site, and the first thing that pops up is a Wheel of Fortune where you can get some money off. And then you get your free drone. If you buy 5 products at 70% off, you just got on the Wheel of Fortune. So before you know it, you got a free drone, but you spent $200 on crap. It's ridiculous.
120 million new users in 2 months.
Of course, and because that's again darketing, and looking into all these strongly regulated industries and regulators always coming later and later, like if we talk about telecom and these times of send a number 3322 and with the word yes, this stuff on the TV, since then nothing changed in telecom actually. They're still doing the same patterns, and for us, why we talk about these topics on the conference is because we believe that if we as people start being more educated on technology, and I think Peter was also mentioning that, knowing and understanding your values and being a good human, what does it mean to be a good human, then we don't need to regulate ourselves, because we would self-regulate. And that's what we need to push more of, self-regulation, not doing business for business, stop capitalizing on people, being honest with people. This is the way of this shift of the mindsets, because otherwise we'll have a next team and the next team, and it's never going to stop.
So I totally agree with you. We need to work more on self-regulation, but in the end, it's about the big bucks, right? I mean, look, for example, at the cryptocurrency industry. We have Coinbase, we have Binance, 2 big cryptocurrency exchanges. Coinbase mentioned from the beginning, let's work with the regulators and make it right. But then Binance said hey, the San Francisco rule of saying hey, move fast, break things. They became by far the largest exchange platform. They gained 100 times more money than Coinbase. And now they're being scrutinized, but still they have so much money to pay for the lobbyists, to pay for the lawyers.
The real story of Coinbase is they got, I think it was 175 million in funding. They turned over. They were turning over after the first year something like 3 billion, and they had 1 support person because they didn't actually spend any money on supporting the customers. They spent all of that money probably on ping pong tables and themed meeting rooms, but all that money went into themselves. As a result, when I had a problem with money that was stuck in there because they didn't do the regulations right, and they had to wait for 6 months to get the UK regulations. So I couldn't get my money out for 6 months. And every time I sent a support message, when you get the, we will reply to you in 24 hours? They sent a reply saying, we will reply to you in about 3 to 4 weeks. And it took me 4 months of the 6 months to actually get them to give me my money.
We have the same case now in the Netherlands with a Dutch bank that is really telling everybody hey, we're working with AI and a lot of technologies, but people, they lose 100K because of some frauds, and the only point of contact is a chatbot. So
awesome.
The more of us that speak out about companies that are doing bad practices, like taking a huge amount of money but no support,
Yeah.
or doing dark patterns on the internet. More of us who speak out about it, the more of us will then vote with our wallets, and then those companies won't have that massive growth and those big bucks. We'll give our money to the people that actually care and deal with us like human beings and support us properly and have great value and have great products and services.
Why don't we move a little bit on the stage?
Yeah.
And we're going to shift to the questions from the audience. There's some very great questions coming in from the audience.
Awesome.
Nice.
Let's do that.
Now, the first one is the marketing field was originally developed by psychologists. So all marketing could be convened as darketing, even before internet plus advanced data analytics.
Absolutely.
Do ecosystems incentives avoid manipulation?
So also psychology was invented before marketing. And in psychology, we understand that people who like us tend to be like us.
Yep.
And that we work with people and have shared values with people, and we then can stay connected to those people. Marketing has taken a few pieces of what we understand as the human condition and then manipulatively leveraged them in order to get a result. We can get better results by just returning back to being human. So, let's go back behind marketing and let's go back to just good old-fashioned getting to know each other as human beings. That's just pure psychology.
And then moving away from word marketing and thinking more as a go-to-market strategy, because that's what marketing is about. You need to be on a certain market to be exposed to certain people. So when you think of your go-to-market, and right now everyone is splitting marketing to all this fuzz and stuff and numbers and, cost per action, cost per install, I got these numbers. So everything is actually, although the measurement is kind of wrong, But when you think of go-to-market and your KPIs when you're entering a certain market, that can also change a little bit the way that you approach marketing.
Yeah.
Now, to close down this in a positive way, I mean, we've been talking about darketing, about dark patterns. Do you also have some very nice, real examples of companies that are doing it actually correctly?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, the first one, my lovely inspiration, and now Finland is our lovely country.
Yes, we love Finland.
We love Finland. I mean, really beyond belief. So if you've never been there, go there in summer for Midsummer Day.
We're not being paid by the Finnish Tourist Board.
And no, we're not getting paid for it. But there is a brand, for example, Marimekko, which is a fashion brand coming from Finland. It exists for like more than 100 years. They have amazing patent and patterns. They collaborate a lot with artists. So they actually, for artists, they are for Helsinki and for the whole Finland, they make impact. They always support Pride, but purely with good intentions. They also have their Marimekko Day even as a holiday, and they celebrate it in Finland and Japan, and building bridges and cultural bridges and being real good example of sustainable, diverse and inclusive company.
And if you look at Finland, this is not a small boutique place. I've been on a tour of their massive factory. I can show you pictures of hundreds of rolls of patterns. You will find them in Stockmann, in their own stores, all over the place. They are huge, and they have done that through authentic impact and caring about people, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and being part of the community. They're amazing.
Many thanks again for this very relevant, inspiring talk. Ksenia and Stewart, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.